Yep.
You may begin.
Your child's appendix just ruptured. They are vomiting terribly and have not eaten in days. What do you do? That is what I am here for amongst the many other critical situations that might occur with your child. My name is Keiara Evancho, and I am a pediatric surgeon working with children in critical situations. A pediatric surgeon is a surgeon specializing in the care of children. Any child ranging from the infant stage of development to teenage years in need of a surgical operation is usually attended to by a pediatric surgeon. Unlike general surgeons, pediatric surgeons complete 2 years of specialized schooling followed by medical board certification. 2 extra years are mainly focused on the care and attention that children require during surgical operations. The main roles of a pediatric surgeon include the diagnosis, prevention, operative, and management care that children in need of surgical operation require. Pediatric surgeons are highly trained in the areas of neonatal, prenatal, trauma, and pediatric oncology. Most pediatric surgeons work within children's hospitals, though university medical centers, general hospitals, and private medical faculties may also employ these medical professionals. As with all other types of pediatric surgeons, as with all other types of surgeons, a pediatric surgeon must complete extensive schooling prior to practicing. I went to the University of Nebraska and completed 4 years of undergraduate school, taking courses including science, medicine, biology, and anatomy. I started my pediatric surgeon education requirements by completing a bachelor's degree program for 4 years in a pre-medicine and scientific field related to medicine. This followed by studies in medical school for 4 more years. Next, I completed a postgraduate general surgery residency for 5 to 8 years. After I graduated, I had to pass the board certification exam in general surgery given by the American Board of Medical Specialists, ABMS. To specialize in pediatric surgery, requirements are 2 more years of that of a general surgeon. My first career choice was a pediatric surgeon. I chose this career because I like the fast-paced work and the sensation of saving a child's life. My second career choice was a registered nurse. My third career choice was a neurosurgeon. Regarding these careers I did not choose, opportunity cost is the highest valued alternative which one is forced to give up in order to get their first choice. Opportunity cost is the second choice lost. I chose to be a pediatric surgeon because it associates the two things I enjoy the most, working with children and working with and learning about the human body. I gave up being a registered nurse because pediatric surgeons have the privilege to mainly work with children and nurses work with all age groups. 3 things that are positive about my job are the positive incentives. Being a pediatric surgeon, I get to work with children and work to help them survive in life-threatening situations. Second, with how much money I make, I will be able to pay off school loans and pay bills every month. Last but not least, being a pediatric surgeon, I will know when I wake up in the morning I will be changing lives throughout the day. Unfortunately, every job has negative aspects as well. Being a pediatric surgeon, a child could die on my watch any day. Next, a pediatric surgeon has to have a strong heart and a strong stomach. The worst one is having to work long, endless hours at the hospital. Being a pediatric surgeon, one of the benefits of having this career is that the annual salary is greater than that of an average job. My annual salary is estimated at about $240,000 a year. My monthly paycheck ranges at about $20,000 a month. Some of the bills I'm responsible for paying are housing bills, which equal out to about $500 a month because I'm splitting an apartment with a roommate. Transportation bills equal out to about $615 a month. Most of the expenses from getting from place to place are my own. Utilities are nag. The amount for my utilities at my apartment costs about $280 a month. Utility cost is different everywhere you go. Another major expense is taxes. Taxes are what usually kill people, not if you claim zero dependents. Then you're more likely to receive a return at the end of the year as opposed to paying it. My taxes for one person equal out to about $8,903.89 a month. When I did an estimate on how much these sections all cost, the estimates were too high or too low. So this was my estimate, also known as the student estimate. Later I had my mom do an estimate, knowing she's paid bills for 13 years, she'd know better than I would in most of the payments. Then after that, we did a research to estimate the actual budget prices. My parent estimate is fairly close to the actual amounts. My pie graph is completely full, no space to spare. It is filled with bills such as discretionary, utilities, taxes, toiletries, school loans, medical insurance, transportation, housing, and food. Discretionary is the highest percentage at 45%, containing sections like charities, savings, clothing, pets, usually things that are non-necessities. Next is taxes. Taxes range about 38% of my monthly paycheck. Taxes include federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security, Medicare, and so on. Taxes usually pay for road construction, school, hospitals, state and federal projects, and wages for people employed by the state and U.S. government. School loans are the third largest amount on my pie graph. School loans add up to about 7% of the budget. Transportation and housing are both scored at 3% on the pie graph. Next is food. Food takes up 2% on the pie graph, mainly because I'm only buying for one person, spending $350 a month. The least amount of money spent is utilities, toiletries, and medical insurance, all scoring at 1% on the pie graph. With these sections, it usually depends on the area or place you live. Choosing a career, you have to consider the trade-offs it may have. I gave up a pet to pay for malpractice insurance, which malpractice is insurance paid to ensure if you mess up during surgery, you will not be sued by the patient or family. I also gave up unnecessary miscellaneous items to pay for school loans. My savings once said $5,256, but as soon as I added my malpractice, it went down to $2,339.17. Malpractice insurance for a pediatric surgeon is $2,917 a month. Long story short, I gave up money from my savings to pay for malpractice insurance. A resume is essential for obtaining a job. As I stated earlier in my speech, I went to the University of Nebraska and completed overall 8 years of college. As a surgeon, you have to complete a 5 to 8 years in internship and residency. I did my residency at the Children's Hospital Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska, and that is where I work my wonderful job now. Doing such a long residency at this hospital, I've gotten to know some amazing people. When I did an internship at Connie Good Samaritan Hospital, I met a fabulous surgeon named Bertha Vanderhyde. I did an orthopedic rotation with her, and she told me I would be amazing in pediatrics, since I'm so detail-oriented. When I wrote my resume, I used her as a reference because she saw me in action working with pediatrics. Making the dean's list and winning the science fair are important things to state in a resume. To become a surgeon, you have to receive certain degrees in order to practice. Degrees and awards are important to a perfect resume. After writing a resume, you are required to write a letter of application. My letter was written to Mallory Sweeper, the manager of the Children's Hospital Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska. I informed her about my job objective and why I would like to work there. To find the information I needed for the student, I used 5 websites that were filled with information. BLS.gov/physicians. This site explains all about every surgeon there is and highlights main points you need to know. UNMC.edu/surgery. This site goes more into the education part of every surgeon's starting point. It explains education requirements and a surgeon needs prior to practicing. UNMC/residency. This site mainly talks about the 5 to 8 year time frame before actually practicing. Every surgeon needs a residency before actually practicing. Educationportal.com. This site focuses on the overall job description and career of the internet browser we need to know to explain pediatric surgeon in detail. Learn.org. This site gives school information and training needed to become a pediatric surgeon. Information like degree required, training required, key responsibilities, and so on. I read numerous articles about pediatric surgeons and just happened to stumble across 2 amazing and helpful detailed articles. What is a pediatric surgeon and pediatric surgeon? In the end, we all know that we've made a change in the world. Some of us even take it to another level, making a change in someone's life. By being a pediatric surgeon, I will know that I have made a change in at least one child's life each day.